Welcome to Jackets TV, presented by OhioHealth. I'm Bob McElligott, along with Blue Jackets head coach John Tortorella, getting ready to talk about training camp. In your training camp, which, by the way, seems to be legendary throughout the National Hockey League. Players talk about it, some of them even in a positive way, as a matter of fact. What is it that makes your camp this way? Why do people talk about it, and what's the anticipation about?
I don't know why they talk about it. It's a heavy volume of skating. Conditioning is the first part of it. It is a high emphasis on the conditioning part of it. First couple of days, the testing. I think that's what hang over players' heads is they know they have a couple of days of testing. We won't even touch pucks for a couple of days. If they want to get through the testing, if they want to get through especially the first couple of weeks with the volume that goes on with it, they need to make their gains during the summer. And that's, Bob, that's the only time a player really can make its gains as far as the conditioning is during the summer, because in the season it's basically trying to maintain conditioning. It's really my first camp with the team, so I'm really looking forward to it.
Summertime, back in the old days, used to be hamburgers and beers, and then you get ready for the season when the season starts. At what point did you get to this kind of a camp where, you know, you've told your players all summer you got to work and be ready to go?
The way this all started was, I'm not interested in riding bikes during camp or testing on the bike or all the stuff off the ice. It's more specific to the ice. So over the years, we want to put this in front of them before they leave so they know how to train to these tests. And that's where we think they're doing the right things on the ice during the summertime to get to our testing part and the volume of skating going on with it. So that's basically it. I know it's come up with a reputation of just grinding these guys. That's not the philosophy. The philosophy is it's something you could control, is your conditioning. You better come to camp in shape, not use camp to get in shape.
Right before the All-Star break, you unfortunately got hurt when you broke your ribs. That's when you really sat down and kind of planned this camp, isn't it?
I basically just blueprinted off of, I have a camp that I've used for a number of years, the same schedule, everything. I just put in different times, maybe with 2 rinks because of the facility here with the two rinks there. I just want Kevin to be able to give to the players what that schedule is going to look like. There's no secrets. It's not about sneaking up on them. There's no secrets. It's about letting them know what's expected of you when you come to camp, so make sure you do your work prior.
What do you have mapped out for them? Especially, you mentioned early, it's conditioning. What does that involve?
Yeah, the conditioning, well, the first 2 days of testing, there's no pucks. We'll go through our physicals. We have 4 on-ice tests. There will be a 2-mile run that they have to do under 12 minutes. They're not going to be in the ice all summer long. They're going to be doing some sort of off-ice training, not just on the ice. I just don't want them using it as a jog, just to jog and jog for 45 minutes and, man, I had a great day today of conditioning. No, they're going to come in here and they're going to sprint that 2 miles to get underneath 12. But then we have some exhibition games, but then we get into practicing at high tempo. But what the players have to understand, the tests are one thing, but we come right back to them during camp with even more of a volume as far as what we're looking for. And that'll go on for a couple weeks, and then we'll slowly try to temper it down as we start getting ready for the regular season.
You mentioned 2 rinks. What kind of an advantage will that be for you, that you can be in one building, you walk one way to one, the other way to the other?
Yeah, it'll give it some flow. It'll be a 50-minute practice, and then one team will go off ice, another team will go on ice. You have 10 minutes to change your stuff and get there on time. So all that stuff comes into play as far as scheduling. So with the 2 rinks, they're going to be moving. To me, that's part of the discipline that I think you need with the club, that this club needs, is to be on time, be there early because we could start early. And Bob, quite honestly, some of the skates, when we get through, it's a bit of checking out their mental mindset. And I'll tell you right now, some guys aren't going to get through it. I'm anxious to see the guys who do get through it and who don't. And not just the physical part, but the mental part of it.
As you've gone through the years and you've tweaked this camp, how have you found that it has affected or changed the way your seasons have started with different teams?
Well, it's a great question, especially for this team here, because of some of the starts that have gone on. I think it's been a tremendous help. And not so much because of the camp and what they did in camp, but because of the preparation they thought of that they needed to do in the summertime. They know they have to do their work before they come to camp. So that's what this is all about. I can tell what an athlete did during the summer, and he's going to show the coaching staff that he was ready for this camp by when he goes through the drills and the sprints and the volume of skating. He's going to let us know, this is where I want to stand with the coaching staff. I've done it. I'm ready to go.
All right, you've given us a lot of insight, and I got to admit, it's very exciting. But the big question I have to ask you is, how do you pull this whole thing off when you're going to coach Team USA in the World Cup?
Yeah, that's a hard one, and I've, because I want to be here, but I'm also very honored to have the opportunity to coach in this international tournament. It's probably going to be my last one. I can't answer that question. I need to look at, I have the schedules. I already have the schedules of both. I think there are some days I can be here, but I need to coach my coaches. They know the testing. They'll know the testing because it's going to be plain. It's just right there. But the days that we practice and go through our conditioning skates, they're not tests, but I know what those days, what the conditioning skate is going to be. I'll just pass it on to my coaches. Bobby, I hope we go a long way in that World Cup, but I also fight the amount of time that I'm going to be away from here because my number one priority is this team. But I've been given an opportunity to represent the United States. I need to follow through with that too. And we'll be, what do you call that stuff? I'm not, the Skyping and all that stuff, yeah. I'll be
all
here.
That high-tech stuff?
That I'm not too interested in, quite honestly. That's why I don't know anything about it. But I'll be here at parts of time when I'm not here. But how can I be in both places at one time? Because I think they're both very important to me and to the organizations that I'm working for.
You'd be just like it was back in the day on the Jetsons. They'll just wheel you in, you go on the screen. If they don't want to hear what you say, they just push it right out.
Gilboy. What's that kid's name? Gilboy? Is that the boy on that show?
Elroy.
Elroy. Oh, I thought it was Gilboy.
Torts, thank you so much. Appreciate you sitting down and taking the time with me.
My pleasure, Bob.
All right, that's head coach John Tortorella getting ready for training camp. The Blue Jackets ready to start another season. I'm Bob McElligott. This is Jackets TV, presented by OhioHealth.
Gilboy. How did I come?
You're close.